Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mario Kart Central for another rendition of MKU Primetime at Night. We've got a good one for you today. We are going to peep down into some Division 4 action, and we're going to be watching the Australian team Version 2 versus the American team Speedstars. My name is Awoken, and I am joined by Gyrodos. How are we feeling?
Good. I'm excited to see this match.
Yeah. Now, for those not in the know about Version 2 as a team, they're one of the very few, if not the only, I think, predominantly Australian team that actively participates in the big tournaments, your MKU and whatnot. Normally we play our matches, besides our primetime matches, every other is usually played around an American afternoon or a European evening. That doesn't really work for Australia because that's at like 3-4 a.m. for them. So they'll often be rescheduling almost if not every match to be at around this time of day. And this is actually their second match of the day. They're kind of feeling themselves. They're coming off of a win over United Bros, a very close battle that they ended up winning by 6 points. And maybe feeling themselves having a little bit of momentum against Speedstars, who, unless they've, been scrimming and warming up, haven't had a match to play yet.
Yeah, and you just mentioned before the cast that Version 2 are 4-1 heading into this game, so they're riding high right now in terms of their season. So
yes,
they're looking to keep that alive as well, and maybe be one of the favorites to win.
4-1 at the moment. 4. They are leading their conference. Leading their conference at 4-1 by a pretty sizable margin. The next best team in their conference is 2-2. So if they're able to add on to that here against a 1-3 Speedstars team who is scrambling to try and land a wildcard spot, then they're going to be sitting very pretty come playoff time in a few weeks. But the lineup they're looking to do that with is one of their best, and very similar to the one that they just put out against UB. Unfortunately, no lineup card, not quite enough time for us to put one together, but the side of V2 will be having Anthony, whose POV we're going to be watching, as well as Byron, Henry, Muden, Shadow, and Venus. All very, very... I can talk.
Very strong players.
Very strong players is what I am trying to say, yes.
And then for the side of Speedstars, we have Iona's POV. We have Luke, who's going to be named Goon, I believe, and then Jake, and then Jaw, who is going to be Zip, Pizza, and Asai, who is going to be Kendrick Lamar. A classic.
Incredible.
But, yeah, we're gonna see these two teams battle it. I think these two teams are going to be much closer than people think. I think Speedstars are
for sure.
They're kind of like they're 1-3 right now, but they're looking to make a splash. I think they've had some rough going, so maybe they can turn around with some good luck. And V2 have been pretty dominant. So
now at the halfway point of the season, both teams with a lot to play for. If V2 is able to improve to 5-1, then they are almost a lock to make playoffs, especially in what seems to be the weaker conference of Division 4.
Yeah,
and
they're
Speedstars fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive.
And they would be in the driver's seat to be Seed 1 as well, which helps out a lot since you'd be able to get an easier path to finals.
Which is what I would say, if not for the leading team in Conference A being 4-0.
That is true.
Heading into tomorrow. So
have they played each other yet?
V2 and Sweatyzard? I don't believe they have. That matchup is going to happen next week.
That might be one of our Saturday prime times. You never know.
Potentially. We'll see as the time gets closer, but as we now head in to our primetime match, we're going to be starting out on Ribbon Road. How do you feel about this track, Gyrodos?
You know, this was the first track I time trialed when I started playing this game, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's the way it was, so it has a special place for me, and it's a very exciting track to drive in general.
Yeah, I'm personally very much of a road enjoyer, and it seems to me that Anthony is one as well, successfully able to hold down first for his team here, and
a
couple more of his teammates.
Sorry, go ahead.
A couple more of his teammates coming a little bit behind. Jake makes his way into the front, but Anthony going to try and have something to say about it. Not quite able to get the trail off, though, and unfortunately for him, he's going to be taking one of his mates down with him.
Yeah, it's strange to see Anthony on this combo. He usually uses a standard bike, so he's looking to switch things up, I guess, and now he's playing a more standard combo, I guess, in Roy Biddy, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays with this.
Can't say I'm 100% surprised to see the combo from him, given his time trial background. One of the absolute best players from back in the day, held a ton of strong times, and if I'm not wrong, even a few world records back in the day. So definitely a player to be feared if you're speed stars, especially in the lines department. V2's got quite a bit of speed on their roster, not only having one of the best T-tiers of old, but one of the best T-tiers of new in Byron as well, who is still currently a multi-world record holder.
Yeah,
as we see him right up in 6th.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speed stars in the top. They might be 1-3 at the moment.
Unfortunate hit on what I believe is a green for Anthony there, as he'll find himself off the track, but making it work as he's sitting relatively comfortably in 5th, but no item at the last set of the track is going to be detrimental to him.
I think that was Jake who just got hit at the end, so that might be a lot of tops for V2 in the end.
Yeah, not even getting hit and still losing 6 spots. That just tells you so much about how powerful that last shortcut is.
Did you get the spot?
Unfortunately, I did not. Yeah. Unfortunately, having a little bit of issues trying to get the second POV up and running. For now, it may have to be just Anthony, but we're doing our best to get the side of Speed Stars some love as well. We do get word from chat, thank you, Soccer Guy, that was a 1-3 for V2, and a couple of mids and low spots trickled in as well. As that is actually a tied race to start us off.
Not bad. This might be another very tight match.
Yep. Cheap Cheap Beach, the second track pick. Unfortunately, not quite able to see who selected it, but would not be surprised to see that be a Speedstars pick. I know a number of members of that clan do enjoy that track, and this seems to be making waves in the meta as kind of a drafter of sorts.
Yeah, this is definitely a Speedstars pick. This is one of their favorites. They choose this a lot. Whenever they don't have first and they don't know what to pick, this is what they're picking. It's Cheap Cheap Beach. They're very good on it too. It's a very strange track because it's not anything out of the ordinary. It's just like a standard drafter, but almost nobody picks it because I don't know. There's nothing like super unique about it, but there's also not anything to complain about either. So
it's just kind of there, and in a game like this where you're trying to maximize what you can do everywhere, like you want the best runner, you want the best bagger. Like Cheap Cheap Beach is not exactly the best at anything, and Speedstars maybe taking advantage of that by taking a bit of an unconventional pick and riding with it, as they seem to be pretty comfortable. Not quite sure who the Waluigi in first is, but we do know they're at least second. V2 seeming to have a lot of control over the mid pack, though.
Yeah, I believe that is probably a top 2 for Speedstars at the moment, and I think that's a Byron maybe, and last going for Sean, perhaps. But we see no reds yet for V2. Oh, those triple greens are gonna cost him.
Anthony did trail a Speedstars member, if I'm not wrong. So.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
Yeah. Iona back there. And
A lot of mid spots still.
Yoda as well. Anthony going to go into the Ghost to finish off his race, and that's definitely a play I agree with. You know, that jungle section, absolutely brutal if you're not careful.
Oh, it's actually Shadow.
Was actually a V2 member in first, and that's going to be a very dominant race. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, I think. And
that's a big race for V2.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, Speedstars track pick, presumably Speedstars track pick, not working the most in their favor. But, you know, first race having been a tie, they've still got plenty of time to get their footing back on, and already coming out swinging with an N64 Rainbow Road pick. Unfortunately, one of the Speedstars members getting a little bit of a miscommunication and taking V2's track. And I don't think it matters. It did land on a V2 member there. As we're headed to TikTok Clock next. Back to a bit more of a conventional runner. TikTok Clock been a meta staple for years now.
All right, so we're starting off on TikTok Clock. Anthony choosing to go to the left side, not taking the coins though. Interesting. Not too sure why you go to this side. Oh, then there's a Nana straight to his face. We used to see V2 in first.
Yeah, could potentially to be avoiding the risk of bumping, especially given how the middle is lap 1 and the fact that Anthony's just a biddy and having to deal with an inward up there. Inward more so than anything else about the combo, most notorious for its weight. You do not want to get bumped by an inward.
That's not what you want to see. And oh, that red skipped for some reason.
Yep.
And
Anthony trying to
the
do
blue
some...
is out. I believe that's a Speedstars member in second. There's
and
two
they're
Warriors.
going to hoard it.
Okay.
That Wario is definitely Speedstars. We know that much.
Oh, okay. It looks like V2... I think there was 2 Warriors earlier, so I think V2 must have switched off Wario.
Yeah, I would like to think Shock comes out. That has to be a Speedstars Shock. We saw the Wario dodge in second. We see... I want to say that's Luke dodging the hill and making his way past basically the entirety of V2.
But yeah, that definitely is a Speedstars member now in first. A little bit laggy on the screen, but he's up there now.
Yeah, that's
going to be Jake.
That is a ton of top spots for Speedstars right now. Looking to answer back what V2 did to them in the Cheap Beach race. And it seems they're both going to be getting breakpoints on each other's track picks.
And we see a lot of Speedstars in the top mid spots as well, so this could end up being a really good race for them if they...
Pizza pulling a star in 5th, and Anthony getting 1 in 6th as well. First is kind of gone, but that kind of makes you think that something might be going on in the back. Unfortunately, Anthony getting hit by looks like nothing there, and might be able to salvage a few spots with a star and triple shrooms at the line, but...
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be a huge race for Speedstars.
Yeah.
They're just trading blows at this point, and I think that's... Okay, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bottom 3 for V2.
Yeah.
Huge race for Speedstars. I believe that's basically the exact same race.
Yeah, the 2-3 will mitigate the damage a little bit, but that... What was it? 8 bottom 3?
Yeah, it was 8 bottom 3 for them.
Yeah, as the scores come in.
Yeah,
that will...
The exact tie.
This is looking
they got back.
This is looking a lot like the war that V2 just played against UB. Didn't really get much of a chance to talk about it, but as a UB member, I have a lot to say. That's not important though. What matters is this current war that we're watching at the moment. But V2 having just come out of a super stressful and close war that did not see a big race from either team for 12 straight races, and V2 ended up winning by 6.
Now we're getting only...
They have been here before, and they have been here literally less than an hour ago. So, if there's any team that I trust in these kind of situations, they'd be the one.
Yeah, we get the V2 track pick in Trainbow. This track is notorious for being very, very good for bottom spots. When you start in the back, you have more coins than the people who start in the front. So
yeah,
that means,
unfortunately, Anthony not able to land a boost panel at all, and he's going to be stuck in last with only 3 coins to start. Might be able to pick up a couple up here, but opts for the tight line instead. I don't know if that's a decision I agree with. And is going to kind of be stuck back here. No real reason to shroom up. Not really going to... It's going to be difficult to find coins with the amount of people ahead of him. Is able to get past a few people and has an opportunity to up his coin count ever so slightly here. V2 taking a lot of control of the mid pack, and if I'm Anthony here...
Yeah, Anthony's not in a good spot now. He was
no coins in last, a bottom 2 with their 2 fastest players back here for V2. Far from ideal, and even if they do want to, you know, pull some magic out of the back spots here, Anthony's not far back enough for that to happen. He's too close to first. He will pass a number of people, though. It looked like 2 Speedstars members there. Byron's still in last, but...
And Jake is the one back here, so that means V2 is up there with the Wario. I wonder if that's a top 2 for V2 up there.
It might have to be, given, you know...
There's a lot of
the 9 bottom 2 here
for them.
Yeah,
maybe even like
lot
8,
of bottom
9,
spots. That's, I think...
10 for them.
That's 4 of bottom 5, if I'm not wrong.
Ooh, yeah.
No, Byron able to get a couple spots at the line, but that is very much
okay. The other boys are all
Speedstars.
Speedstars, so that's good to know.
Yes. But yeah,
so
Speedstars able to mitigate the drafts and hold on to their top spots, and they're going to be taking their first lead here.
Yeah, and if anything's been consistent so far, it's been that these teams are very back and forth, so I would not be surprised if V2 are ready to answer back. And we see TM come out for them. That's a very interesting choice because they don't have very many of the mid spots, so I wonder if they're just going with the plan of, okay, we can guarantee ourselves some shrooms if we just stay patient and get the box, and even though we won't necessarily be first on TM, we'll at least have a bunch of us up there. So
I don't know how to feel about the Paris pick from Speedstars. Like, obviously, if they're comfortable on it, then I'm not one to talk about whether or not they feel good about playing it. But, you know, you kind of want to pick inward killers rather than inward favors when you're playing a team like V2 with
I believe Shadow's
such a powerful player like Shadow
no,
here.
Fifth. Never mind.
In 5th, but with that coin count, definitely still going to be able to probably get a couple bumps on the long turn at the beginning.
I kind of like this track for the bottom spots. It just feels really good to draft up at the beginning, and you're going to be on so much more coins, and there's not very many available on this track.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like this as a runner.
Unfortunately, this Wiggler will not let Anthony get on the tight line whatsoever. And he's going to kind of be stuck with no items. If I'm him, I'm just taking the double here. Yeah, I agree with that decision, as a lot of Speedstars immediately behind him. He's going to be going for a trail and not quite getting it. The red,
he got
the laggy red will connect, though.
A very good job by Anthony.
If I'm that Speedstars member, I'm not happy right now.
Yeah, we see
Anthony entering lap 2 with 4 shrooms here, and is gonna chain 3 of them here. Getting the box in 7th, not ideal, but a single shroom will suffice, I think. Gets the grass trick. One of the dumbest things in this game. That grass trick right there. Anthony gonna have to be careful to keep his distance from his mate up here. Does not want to get trailed. And now with Henry surrounded by Speedstars, he can kind of go off. Does opts to throw them forward, which I didn't think he was going to get a trail with those anyways. Ooh. Unfortunately, tough break for Anthony. Going for one of those weird glider momentum tricks, and unfortunately gets sent a bit too far to the left. Shout out to Jensua. Unfortunately not working in his favor. Last set, make or break, though. 4 shrooms is a very solid pull here, so long as
Ooh, there's a
Byron
shock.
dodging is good, and could not quite catch who that Bill was. Want to say that was a
Speed
Stars member. Yeah.
It's got to be a V2 shock, I imagine. Spam from the last set.
Very clearly it was. That is an incredible race from V2. Top 3, 6, 7, holding Speed Stars to bottom 2, and I think they're going to be taking the lead back.
I wonder if that was a Byron shock where he just used it once V2 were safe enough and got some spots for himself. Either way,
that would make sense.
Race from V2.
Yeah. Incredible race from V2.
And now they're back in the lead.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be right. That Byron just kind of used that and caught up. V2 leading by 10 into the 6th race here. Still having been relatively back and forth for quite a while now, but if one of these teams can break away now, then it's going to become a battle of momentum. It's on Speed Stars right now. Yeah, it's only a 10-point deficit at the moment, but if one of these teams is able to break this war open and start chaining big race after big race, then with this much time left in the war, now that we're entering the halfway point, now we're playing TikTok clock again. Was that a random?
I think it was a random.
Someone in chat knows. Word from Byron that was a Speed Star shock, so no, he just dodged it and got a ton of spots.
Oh, wow. Oh, there you go. Bye-bye, Anthony. Looks like he was a little finger fail. You know, first went the wrong way. And now he's stuck in the back.
I got finger locked, went for a counter hop, and not quite able to let go in time.
Yeah,
I'm getting word from chat that was a repick. I have to know now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but oh, okay. Byron sparing his teammate. What a kind guy. And yeah, we see Byron and Anthony in the back. Not too good for them. Looks like there's a lot of Speed Stars in the mid spot, so by process of elimination, that probably means there's V2 up there in the top, so interesting to see what it is. Oh, the horn going off for Jake. Probably not first place for Speed Stars then, if he's horning that early. Ooh, and Anthony gets fired off the track. I see a lot of Speed Stars here in the back, and now
Gyrodos, I have unfortunate news. That was in fact a Speed Stars repick. V2 now leads by 30.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a big event, because now Speed Stars have to make up a lot more ground than they did literally just a couple seconds ago. So now we're seeing Byron carry up a star now. Anthony not lucky enough to pull one himself, but maybe able to get one from here. I don't think he's at distance quite yet. Nope. And gets only triple shrooms. And I'm not too sure who the Wario in second is, but it might be a lot of V2 in the front. I see a lot of Speed Stars back here. And yeah, it looks like a big race for V2 potentially.
Yeah, a top 3, 6, 7, 10. That's very similar to the race that they just had on Paris. That might have been, including the repick, like close to a plus 40.
Yeah, now V2 is just in the driver's seat. They've broken that lock of going back and forth. Now they've got 2 races to show for themselves. They have that 2-race lead. Now Speed Stars have to make up that in 6 races. So it's gonna be a tough hill to climb, but Speed Stars have shown that they're willing to fight. So let's just see if they can get it done.
Very much so. V2 at the halfway point now with a towering lead of 50. Essentially equivalent to if they had just top 6 that race.
Yeah, with the penalty, that kind of makes it like a 3-race lead for V2. So you have
just
to make
about
you have to make it 5-1 basically.
Yeah, at this point, if
in the last 6,
if V2 can just string together a GP of like slight wins, maybe an occasional -2, -4, then at some point, if they are able to hold on and, keep the score relatively consistent around this margin, then at some point it's going to not be mathematically possible, or at least not feasibly possible if they can't hold a 40-point lead into the 12th. Anthony navigating his way through the back of the pack here and struggling a little bit to get coins and get around the bumps of the Wigglers, but managing fairly decently. He's going to likely shroom up here and going to be in a pretty damn good spot for himself. Not much to be said about the rest of V2, as only really Speedstars being seen up here, but a great bomb from Newton, and him slowing down will allow Anthony to enter first and have a V2 top 3 set up. Continuing their dominance and their momentum from RTTC, even if it's different players doing the running for version 2, still just a strong lineup from top to bottom. They can do it all.
We do see one Waluigi going really hard for shock. That's got to be a Speedstars member at this point, and you've got to be looking for those dodges, and I don't believe they have it just yet. Blue is out, though.
Anthony will be getting blued, and letting Speedstars into first, however they have a horn.
Okay, I don't know what happened to that red, but Iona's able to...
I have no idea what happened to that red. V2 still holding 2, 3, 4, 5. Anthony's going to have to be careful with these triple nanas, though. Not very many safe spots to get rid of these on this track.
Yeah, luckily for him, the Speedstars member is behind him, so now only 2... Oh, wait. Looks like Chad was able to take out Iona in first, and now they're top 3.
Yeah. Anthony, I think, just going to hold on to these for the rest of the race. No point in chaining for a shroom when his team basically has top 2 on lock.
Yeah, as long as there's no shock here, it looks like V2 are getting that top 2 again, and...
That'll be a top 2, 4, 5 if that's Byron right there, yeah. 4, 5.
Another big race, top 2, 4, 5, 6.
Top 2, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, now Speedstars is going to have a mountain to climb. It was just a hill before, but now it's a mountain, and it's going to be difficult.
A damn
after
tall
that
one
race.
as well.
5 races to go, 72 points. It's looking like Speedstars are getting desperate at this point, so they're going to have to get some really, really favorable luck if they want to bring this around.
Anthony's saying the stream POV nerves are getting to him. I couldn't tell. I think he's playing well. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean that does play a factor. I remember last week.
I think that was a very solid race from him, all things considered.
Yeah, I remember last week we got our first primetime slot. First time I was ever on primetime. Luckily, I didn't have to send my POV, and Ingite took the fall for me. So he got lots of love, but he was definitely nervous about it. But he did play well enough, and we got the dub. So it was very nice. And now we see version 2. It looks like Speedstars got their Snowland pick, and it's a big bagger, and this could be the race to turn things around for Speedstars.
Another very controversial Wave 2 track that has definitely generated a lot of different opinions from different sides of the community. Yeah, I was about to ask, what do you think?
This track is like it's one of the most unique tracks in the entire game, because this is not a track that Nintendo would normally make. If this was, there's just no way that they would make this type of track before the DLC. They took in a lot of opinions, I think, from the people in the community. A lot of people liked and wanted more shortcuts in the game in general, and I did find out that the Snowland cut is on purpose because 200 Staff Ghost actually takes it. So
yeah,
that means they did actually put it there. And intend to do so. So
a ton of it's not even just on this track as well. Mushroom Gorge Gap Jump coming back and making waves in the community from day one. You've seen the Twitter clips and blow up with like 6-digit likes. You've got the Ninja Hideaway Nisk. You've got Shroom Bridge was turned into a shortcut pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think they did it nearly as much with the Wave 1 tracks, but they definitely ramped it up with the Wave 2 tracks. And Oh, there's the shock. Probably a Speedstar shock.
Definitely a Speedstar shock. We see that Royce Goody up there.
Wow, only double
making
reds.
his way
That
up.
is not good. And since that was a Speedstar shock, very likely that they're going to get a very good race out of this. I would not be surprised if they are top 2, 4, 5 right now.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Ooh, Anthony gets planted almost off the track. Oh, he barely survives, and it doesn't look like he's going to get much off of this, though.
Yeah, might even be a last for him.
Speedstars back
Yeah,
here
the
for
bill
them,
coming
though.
up, unfortunately.
Oh, that's actually a lot of Speedstars back here.
Yeah. Maybe not the shock
1, 3, 4.
Speedstars was hoping for, but I don't think, unless there was like a major miscommunication from V2, then there's no way Anthony couldn't have gotten into that star in time.
Yeah, it was 100% a Speedstar stock. It looks like just the events afterwards did not bode well for them, and yeah, that
V2 able
if
to
there was
capitalize
any
on-
race to capitalize on, it was that one, and now Speedstars they're back to desperation mode.
Going right to their bread and butter and also their home of Sydney.
Yeah, and Byron does have the world record on this track, so
Yeah, a track that they kind of balled out on us on. I'm gonna be real.
yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks as well. So I'd love to see it if they end up getting it. But nope, we're getting one of the best regular tracks, at least in my opinion. So
For sure, I love Grumble Volcano.
So yeah, it was a win-win regardless, but Speedstar's been picking this the entire war, so if there's any track they're gonna start their comeback on, it's right now.
Yeah, they have a GP to make up 84 points. They're gonna have to average 20. They're gonna have to average plus 22s.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, a plus 22 is like a top 4 and 2 kind of low spots. A plus 22 is like a top 4 and then like 9, 12. Probably. I don't know the exact math, but what I'm trying to say is a plus 22 race, it's hard to get.
Yeah, that's for sure. And right now, it looks like V2 are just playing the safe route of sending people up there, trying to get the front presence, secure some mid spots at least, and Speedstars just have to go for shock, and it looks like that's what the Roaring Last is doing. Ends up billing, so they don't have it quite yet unless it's after that bill. Pizza does hold his star though through the set, so that could mean something. But this is a very good set to change your star at, so I would not be surprised. Ooh, that green was very close. He still holds it. Very
Anthony
interesting.
also opting to hold his star.
Yeah, it's behind
There
the
could
shroom, so
definitely
it's...
be potentially mind games going on between the pack back here.
Yeah, much more incentive for Anthony to hold it since it's behind a shroom. Can't get
Yeah.
ghosted when you have that shroom in hand. Pete's on the other
and
hand.
now that they're in 4-5, they don't even need to use them to catch up. There's that ghost you were talking about. It will take this room, and now Pizza knows that Anthony also looking to either predict or dodge a V2 shock. Pizza falling off. Lag. Okay. I forgot Anthony was Australian.
There's the star.
There's both stars. There's like 6 people in stars right now. I would not use a shock if I'm on either team right now.
It looks like the red is gonna connect.
All the
no, it looks like he had triples.
Yeah, all
Blue's
the
out,
rainbows.
though.
The rainbows evaporating from the mini map.
Oh, Pizza dies. I don't know where he went, but he's gone now. And this is not looking good for Speedstars. I don't see a lot of them up here.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, we don't know if that Wario is one team or the other.
2, 3, 4 at least for V2.
Potentially a top 4 for V2.
Yeah, that might just spell the end for Speedstars. If that is...
Maybe not mathematically yet, but yeah, top 4, 8, 10. That's an incredible race for V2. That was the type of race that Speedstars would have needed to keep themselves in it, and...
Yeah, and at this point, it's...
At this point, it's very near mathematically over.
You've got to wonder
Yeah,
what
110-point lead for version 2 at the moment. So for Speedstars to win, they need to be like not quite 3 top 6s, but damn near 3 top 6s.
Yeah, and if you don't know, plus 40 is what you get for getting a top 6, which is the very best race you can get.
Yeah,
So
perfect
plus
race for
40.
6v6.
Right
Yeah,
now,
so
speed stars are down 110, so they would need 3 top 6s to get plus 10 on V2. So they
yeah,
basically need perfect.
they have 10
last 3
points of wiggle
races.
room here, and as casters, we love our narratives, we love our hypotheticals, but this just never happens. I'm sorry to bring it to the new people. It's not mathematically over, but so long as V2 just doesn't let up, then they will be winning this war and moving on to 5-1 and likely locking themselves a playoff spot in Division 4.
I really don't like the strategy from V2 having 3 people run at the beginning. That seems like a very bad idea, especially on this track where if there is a shock, the top spots are not getting good spots. So we do see Shad taking out one of Speedstars and one of his own teammates. Might be for the better. That his teammates are back there.
A V2 top 3 for the time being, if I'm not wrong. Potentially a top 4 or a top 2-4, but at least 3 of the 4 runners. That other Walu has to be Speedstars, right? They're not just going to let V2 be top 4.
Yeah, I believe the
shot comes out and 2 people will dodge it. Maybe 3, but I do think that was only 2. And we'll find out in a moment who those 2 were, as what seems to be a V2 member making their way up the front, but that top 3 from V2 has held form.
Yeah, the race is
neither
not
of the
over
people
yet,
that dodged or neither of the people that have been streaming up have been able to do anything to it. Mooden coming up here and now has triple reds in second. V2 holding a top 4. Anthony successful in horning the blue, and Gyrodos, it's over. Byron has a star in 4th, it's over.
Yeah, as long as that Waluigi in last does not have a shock, it's almost game set match, because you have triple shrooms, the shock has to come now, and it's not looking like it's happening.
That's a top 5 for V2 if they hold this.
Ooh, there's the shock!
If they hold this, it's too late. Shadow's still getting second.
Not quite. Did not come early enough. If that shot came maybe 10 seconds earlier, they could have made it happen, but it was just pulled at the last set, so did not get quite enough. They need these races a lot earlier.
Not even sure that's a winning race for Speedstars. I think that's a tie.
Yeah, it might be a plus
top 2, 6, 9, 10, 12. Either way, though, very well done by V2. Being able to shake off the stress of an unbelievably close war that they had just played and holding form, staying strong against another very underrated, very powerful opponent. And as we said, they will be advancing to 5-1, and given they now have a 3-game lead in their conference, going 2-0 this evening, they are basically locked into playoffs.
Yeah, and if you don't know, there's 10 matches in MKU, so each team plays the other teams in their conference twice, and then they play the other teams out of their conference once. So 10 matches in total. Right now, V2's at 5-1, meaning that since half the teams make it to playoffs, it's almost a deadlock for them to make playoffs. If they win one more match, it's basically guaranteed.
Yeah, even if they go 5-5, they still have a good shot at the wild card, so long as they can keep their losses to a minimum with point differential.
Yeah, and if you're Speedstars, you're not fighting for much at this point, but you've got to have something to go into tomorrow with a fresh mind. You can't go into tomorrow thinking to yourself, "Oh yeah, we just got destroyed by V2. Doesn't even look like we can make or even have a shot at playoffs." So they've got to show themselves here in these last 2 races if they want to have any chance.
We've seen so many times in so many different divs a team squeaking into the playoffs as the 4 seed by maybe a couple points of point differential and then going on to win the division. It happens all the time. Speedstars may be 1-4 at the moment, but their season is still far from over. If they can string together, if they can get a win streak together, then they could be looking at just as good of hopes of making their way up as any other team in the div. a dominant showing from V2, and they have most certainly proven why they're a massive threat to be taking Division 4 here, but this is why we love MKU. Just the kind of matches it can produce, you know, given the Division format, all 8 teams so close to each other in skill level. Unless you're Frenzy.
Yeah, and at some point you gotta wonder, what are V2's plans for the future? They weren't able to play MKU during the last season, so they've got kind of a refresh in their mind, because
very much announced themselves back onto the scene.
Yeah, now they're back at it, and I would not be surprised if this team is D3 next season with how they've been playing so far.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah, still big races for them, despite it not even mattering anymore. So they're still putting their heart on the line. Yeah, and Speedstars just they basically fell apart after that repick. I don't know if it was a mental thing. I don't know if it was just coincidence, but it did not turn out well, and this might be their biggest loss of the entire season.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens. Sometimes wars get out of control. Sometimes you're not.
Oh wait, I was
to...
mistaken. V2 did play last season. They just did not have a lot of their players.
Yeah,
that's my bad. Got things mixed up. Either way, Speedstars, we do see a Wave 2 track, so that's pretty nice. This is my favorite track in the entire DLC, by the way, so it's gonna be fun to see how these teams play it. Despite everyone saying that they hate this pinball, I love this pinball. It creates so much chaos. I just love to see everyone die to it every time. And the pinballs at the end are not easy to avoid either. We do see a lot of V2 up here. That bomb almost connect. Ooh. Yeah, see, the pinball already taking 2 names. Oh, there's a banana straight to the face of Anthony. Now, even though this race doesn't matter, you gotta play for your indiv points, you know. You can't just
for your pride.
You can't just not play anymore.
Yeah. War might be mathematically over, but we all know how much we all love the indiv table.
Exactly. The higher you are, the better the player, obviously. Nothing else determines anything. So, we're still going to see these teams try their hardest, despite everything. Triple greens for Anthony in the back.
Now, if I'm Anthony here and I want the indivs, I'm trailing out my entire team.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can't do it to Venus, so he's sparing him for now, but... Pulls a star as well.
Gonna have to be careful here, as a lot of Speed Stars just is kind of being faster than him.
Yeah, he's not on very many coins right now. He's kind of just been in limbo for a lot of this race. Although it is pretty weird how this track ends up. Normally at the end of the track, you'd think, oh yeah, the pack's separated at that point. It's basically whoever's in those spots are going to get them. But not on this track, because there's just so much going on at the end. Like, the pinballs could hit random people. There's a bunch of spam at the end, since there's 2 long straights. So let's see. Anthony's going to be in a dodge for the rest of the race, essentially, taking this box in 9. Probably going to pull another one. And I wonder if he will be passing anyone. Okay, it looks like he's...
Doesn't look like it. Oh, unfortunately, Shadow getting hit out there at the line, and not going to matter if he passes his own
Looks like
team.
They got a good race, but not in time, unfortunately, so... Yeah. Oh, never
even
mind.
then, yeah,
Byron
top two,
switched to Roy.
6, 7, 8, 9. Bottom 3 for speed stars to end that off, and
Yeah, big
just
133
kind of
from
an
Shadow.
unfortunate series. Just kind of an unfortunate series of events following the repick from them, but still put up a valiant effort. If I'm speed stars, I'm still proud of my team.
I wouldn't go that far, but you know, it's.
Oh, come on, be nice.
I mean, they lost pretty bad.
Be nice.
They lost pretty bad. I don't think we got to sugarcoat it. But either way, congrats to V2 on winning their match today. They've won both, so now they move to 5-1. Speedstars need to try and claw it back. And tomorrow, we're seeing a Division 3 matchup between Inferno Volt and Heroes of Tier F.
HTF is D3? What?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, they've gone from D8 to D6.
They were
all the way to
lower
D3.
than that at one point. HTF used to be a pretty low div team. That's impressive. Props to them for making it as far up as they have. Wow.
Yeah, and NFL Vote is a staple high to mid div team.
For sure.
So they're going to be interesting to watch as a new face versus an old face. So be sure to tune into that tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 22 Central European time.
Yeah,
and that's all we have for today for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream.
Yeah, I've been Awoken, and Gyrodos, thank you for casting this match with me. Congrats to V2 on the win, and also to Hashtag, thank you for being our lovely stream host. We never get to give them enough credit, but
yes,
I make it a point to do that. But we're going to be heading over to Royal Shell Esports for the Mario Kart Marathon that they've been putting on for the past little while now. So be sure to give them a little bit of support, because God knows they need it with how much work they've been putting in. And again, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep. See you later.